You haven't done a ton of the college kid debates. You actually do try to debate like real people mostly.
Because I
have you done any of the like debating like just a total retard? Like
I've done a few. I've had a few debates but it was always like where I didn't realize till we started debating that the person was like, "Oh,
you don't know what you're talking
fucking
about.
Really have nothing." But I don't particularly like that. I don't, and the people I'm talking about were not 18. They were like adults who just happened to turn out to be retarded.
Yeah.
But that, like, I hate fucking owning an 18-year-old. I just think that's, I think probably for a period in time, like around 2016 or something, when Milo and Ben Shapiro and they would go to college campuses,
there's fires.
It might have been necessary, to like demonstrate to everyone that these fucking college kids who are saying all this shit is like
she doesn't know what she's talking about.
They don't know what they're talking about, and if they're actually confronted with anyone who's kind of knows, they fall to pieces. So that was maybe necessary, but at a certain point,
that was a moment.
And, their voices were being kind of disproportionately heard for some reason.
Yes.
So there was necessary to have that counterbalance.
And sure, so that period of time, whatever it was, when the big like you say
boning era.
You say that when the glasses
the glasses
and that actual thing. Okay, fine. So maybe that was a time that was needed. But after a while, I feel this way like a lot with Trump too. This is why I don't want Trump to run again, and I don't want, because it's like, okay, that was good. That was almost like maybe necessary for the time for you to just fuck up. Oh, he owned all the libs. Yeah. But at a certain point, you're like, okay, we need a little bit more than that. We need a little bit more than just like, oh, you dunked on an 18-year-old. We need you to like, let's actually have a really good conversation with two 45-year-olds who like know what the fuck they're talking about, and like it's like, what are we really doing here?
Sure.
Like,
I think it's a lot of things. It's kind of like, you know, even like I always say this about like dudes at 18. They're like, a lot of them need a guy to shake them up, like a military sergeant type guy,
right? Or
you know what, like, if you're a weight loss, like, you know what I mean? You're like 400 pounds. A certain type of dude might respond to a guy that's like, get your fucking shit together. Fuck you. Stop being a little bitch. But like, once you're down to your like normal weight and you're actually in pretty good shape, you're like, I don't know if I need that guy still. You're like, you motherfucker. And you're like, yeah, dude, I'm working out. Like, we're actually, let's talk
Mr.
about, like,
Goggins, I don't need this anymore.
Can we just, actually more having a nuanced conversation about like what nutrients we want to get in the diet and like, what exercise. And he's like, you fucking nothing. And you're like, yeah, actually, things are going good now. So
right, well, that was kind of like Jordan Peterson was like that to some extent. I felt like, I really liked what he was doing.
My bed.
Yeah, no, right. And you're like, he'd be like, forget about the problems of the world. You have to clean your room, and you're like, excellent advice for a 22-year-old. Here's the thing:
22-year-old
my room's clean. Like my room's clean. My kids' rooms are clean. So like now let's talk about the fucking world. You know what I mean?
Run a successful business.
Yeah, like I'm okay. Good advice for starting off, but now let's fucking talk about something else. And so that's like it's almost like getting Donald Trump elected I think it was probably more good than bad, in that there needed to be some jolt to like the system, but then it just fucking made everyone go more crazy. And now it's like, all right, you always go, okay, what do we want to do now? Like, what are we at? Where are we going from here? Because this is now in a lot of different ways. You're like, okay, so what are we doing? We're printing $6 trillion a year, and we're flirting with a nuclear war, and we're locking down our fucking country, and we're $30 trillion in debt, and the whole culture is just completely dissolved. And you're like, okay, so what's the plan?
Trump again?
Is Trump again really the answer to that? Right. I don't think so. I don't, I don't know, man. I'm interested. I'm interested to see where this all goes.
Well, it sounds like Dave Smith's the answer.
I mean, if it's who is,
I don't think I'm the answer to anything.
Like, who's the favorites right now for the Republican? DeSantis?
I mean, I think the favorite is still Trump, probably. I think DeSantis is like a fucking not far outside. Not far,
like it'll be like
shot.
Shocking. And then what? Like, I guess Biden said he
says he is, but everyone around him seems to be like, maybe.
Well, I think that one of the biggest things where someone's not going to run is all the main the main publications start saying something bad about them. Like, you'll see like Vice do a thing about how Biden's actually not doing that good, and you're like, oh, did the memo get out that he's out? Like, it kind of feels like that.
Well, I saw a thing.
Like, it's always one day.
I mean, the way the economy is going to
100 articles about how this guy's bad. Like, it happens like that.
Well, this is all just like, I don't know this at all. This is all just complete conspiracy. like speculation. So I don't know if this is true, but I don't know if you guys saw like a couple weeks ago, there was like a big, you know, these stories in like major publications run based on leaks.
Yeah.
Like they're like unofficial sources in the FBI say blah, blah, blah. And so there was a story in the Washington Post that was just like unofficial sources in the FBI say that Hunter Biden could be charged with all of these crimes, and my initial thought is that that's the establishment letting Joe Biden know, like just being like, "Hey, motherfucker,
like that's deep state.
We're protecting your boy." But we don't have to.
Yeah.
So like, just so you know, like that's how I take it. I don't know if that's right or not, but I take it like them being like, hey, look, your son could spend the rest of his fucking life in prison. Or
you could play ball.
You could just do what we tell you to do.
Your son's a drug addict who might rat on his dad.
Yeah. Right, and maybe there is an implication like you could go down too.
Yeah,
but
you're like, well,
so I think that's kind of almost like they're like, look, if we don't want you to run again, you're not going to fucking run again. All right.